Hey everyone, this is Tankenstein. Today's video I'll go over the Italian Beginner's Pack for War Thunder, including reviews of both vehicles and telling you if I can recommend or not recommend this pack. I don't want to make this a long video, so that said, let's just get into it. So to get started, I'll go over the M14/41, 47/40, because that's what most people are going to be looking at when buying this pack. Also, just as a note, forgive the arcade clips in here because these vehicles, in my experience, were not so hot and realistic, but I'll get into that. So that said, the stats are actually fairly similar to the stock M14/41 already in the regular tech tree, except that this tank has 20 millimeters more frontal hull armor, a diesel engine which in my experience does not catch fire easily, and a much better cannon, plus a 13.2 millimeter Breda HMG, which makes short work of poorly armored vehicles. Also of note, this is a 2.3 BR tank, whereas the regular M14/41 is only 1.7. So for the tank itself versus lower tiered opponents, the M14/41 47/40 packs enough punch to one-shot enemies through their frontal armor. At 2.7, but more so 3.0, both the tank and the cannon really start to show their age and have a tough time punching through frontal armor. This is especially a problem because its speed is mediocre, especially with the diesel engine in this version of the M14, and as such can't properly flank too well around opponents to hit their weak side armor. This said, in realistic and numerous matches, I was able to get frontal pens against numerous enemies, but as with many light tanks at this BR, I found myself getting easily outflanked and subsequently killed, largely due to the poor speed, acceleration, and turret traverse of this tank. In arcade, however, many of these issues are largely rectified, as the tank finds itself on similar footing versus opponents of similar BR. For tactics, I'd recommend pushing with your team, but not being on the front line, as the agility of this tank will prevent you from making moves quick enough to save your tank. If you do, however, find yourself able to flank against all odds, this tank is an absolute beauty, and the upgraded gun that this has over the stock M14/41 will really show its potency. Now to get into the strengths, I'd say it has a great gun, especially against similar or lower tiered enemies. It also has a great reload speed, always being under 4 seconds, and sometimes, if you have a good enough crew, being around 3 seconds. It also has decent armor, but it's not great, especially for the fact that it's not sloped. For its weaknesses, it has a poor speed and also poor acceleration. It has a terrible turret traverse rate, and it also has great difficulty in facing up-tiered opponents, or even just simply faster opponents, including lower-tiered vehicles like the M3A1 Stewart. Now for the other vehicle in this pack, the RE 2001 Gruppo 22. Now for the RE 2001 Gruppo 22, henceforth referred to as the Gruppo 22, has nearly identical stats when compared to the RE 2001 Series 1. This means that while it has a good rate of climb and fair agility, it comes at the expense of armament, both primary and secondary, as this plane cannot carry any bombs or rockets and lacks a truly potent primary armament. Overall, much like the M14/41, this Gruppo 22 shines in arcade, where the stresses of realistic really do not play to their strengths. In both vehicles, I felt that the enemy vehicles faced in realistic held a distinct advantage, and that there were only a few times where either the M14/41 or Gruppo 22 could really hold their own. The Gruppo 22 had difficulty outdiving opponents, and when it did, it was at risk of destroying the plane. It was as though the full potential of this plane couldn't be realized because of the airframe, not the components therein. It gets you to the point where you can feel confident and then tears it away. In arcade, however, this plane is a shining star, partially due to the fact that you'll be facing lower tiered enemies much more commonly. As a bonus, many of these low tiered enemies are biplanes made of canvas. I haven't had that much fun in low BR arcade planes in a while. In addition, if you do well, it's a money-making machine. There's no reason why you can't get 25 to 60,000 Silver Lions per match with this plane, especially in arcade. It's that good. And so for its strengths and weaknesses, I'll start off with its strengths, as good performance characteristics like the rate of climb, speed, and handling. It also has decent armament, though not great, I'd say that the Breda HMG really seals the deal here. It has good durability when taking hits, it also has plenty of ammo. For its weaknesses, its wingtips are extremely fragile. Whether you're diving too fast or they get hit by a bullet, they will get blown off very easily. Additionally, the engine overheats very easily, much like any Italian sports car. It also has mediocre ammo options. It's got nothing too powerful, and the armor pen is poor, especially for HMGs. And finally, it also has no secondary armaments like bombs or rockets, which at this BR is not too much of a concern, but still limits its versatility. So, all said, considering all of the perks of the Italian Beginners Pack versus the cost, is it worth it? I don't know if it is. If it were $2.50 USD less, I'd say sure. But unless you're looking to fill out your collection of beginners packs or you have an affinity for Italian vehicles, I'd say possibly pass on this, at least for now. I know $250 isn't too big of a deal for many people in the grand scheme of things, but I just can't feel that this is worth it, especially with other packs such as the USSR's beginner pack or even the US's beginners pack. Now, I know both contain rank 1 vehicles, but one could argue the I-153 in the USSR pack is better than the Gruppo 22, and that the American pack is simply just more cost effective. I mean, after all, regardless of if it's rank 1 or 2, you'll be spending only a small amount of time in low BRs anyways, if your goal is to gain more vehicles. The only really cool thing about the Italian pack above the other beginners packs is that the vehicles, primarily the tank in this pack, are somewhat unique compared to their analogs already in game. Now, does that make it worth it? You'll have to decide for yourselves. The week of premium time, 120,000 Silver Lions, and the boosts that come with the premium vehicles are certainly a nice draw. But you can get those with the American pack that costs half as much. However, please note that the Rasmutin's P36 in the American pack is treated as a regular plane and thus does not receive premium bonuses. So, my final verdict? Wait for a sale and save a few dollars unless you really need the items in the pack or were looking to build up your low BR Italian tech tree right now. So that said, everyone, thanks for watching. It really means a ton to me. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as it all means so much to me and does wonders for supporting my channel. That said, thanks again, and I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.